Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan and I've got Ryan here for quarantine questions today. So Ryan, I reckon I've worked with for about 8 years now in 2 different bands. He's now in Social Beingz. So he's like one of the top rappers. I really rate him. He's a good homie of mine, good friend. He's a serious hustler as well. Like they've worked their way up and up and up. They're doing good stuff. Obviously links below for Social Beingz and all that jazz. Ryan, do you want to say a bit about yourself? Tell us about yourself, how we met, all that jazz.
Yeah. When was the first time we met?
Probably on an outdoor stage.
I think it was an outdoor gig. Yeah. Okay.
It may have been I Love Easter, one of those kind of ones.
I think you were with.
Yeah.
And I was in 1224 at the time.
Yeah.
And what were you like a kind of, were you just like hired hand or were you working for them at the time?
So I was an intern on terrible pay.
Yeah.
Like,
mate, that's
like £100 a month.
That's
or
a rite of passage.
Something terrible.
That's life. You're nobody unless you've done an internship with no pay.
Oh mate, yeah. I mean, worked my ass off just as much as anyone there for full-time work, but yeah, I got like £100 a month or 140 or whatever it was, and everyone else got whatever they got.
150.
Keeps you, yeah, 145.
Yeah, so we met ages ago on the outdoor gig. I was in a band called 1224. That's kind of I'm from America, for whoever's watching this. If you can't tell from my accent. And I'd just come over to do an academy course in Manchester, and they do music and all that kind of stuff, and that's how we linked up. And yeah, I've been here for like almost 12 years, married to a Brit, got 2 British kids. My children say bus.
The best way.
And Dad.
Bus.
And it's bizarre. It literally blows my mind.
Oh mate, I reckon that. Well, me and Abby were having a conversation with my wife, and we reckon that she.
I also know your wife.
Yeah.
For about as long as I know you.
Well, we reckon that she was working as your merch girl for at least 6 months to a year before we met.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then obviously we met. I kind of
she's
did
not a
for
fan of ours anymore. She's ditched us.
She loves 1224 too much.
That's right. Everybody does.
Oh, nah, that's not true. Do you want to describe the time you almost missed a deadline, and how did you catch up?
This one's that was like the oddest question, I feel like, for me. We don't really have deadlines, really.
Like miss sound check, miss a flight to wherever you're going, that kind of thing.
We do some writing for some like K-pop artists, and we've had times where we've missed the deadline for a brief. Like they've given us a date and we've missed the deadline for a brief. But like most times, if we're about to miss a deadline, say like, oh well, last week we missed a deadline because we were meant to have a track in for Big Church Day Out. They're doing some live, like Big Church Day Out online, live performance stuff. And basically that was the week that Jen got sick. My wife got sick. And
oh mate.
So there was no way I was going to be able to film it like while the kids were sleeping. It just wasn't going to work. So we missed that deadline, and they bumped it to this week. So the deadline's not tomorrow. So tonight I literally have to finish that. So hopefully I don't miss that deadline tonight. But
otherwise it'd just be Josh doing it on his own on an iPhone and send that.
Well, I just filmed him today in a car park, an empty car park, 2 meters away. We don't really miss deadlines that often. Most of the times we're pretty on time with stuff, and if we do miss a deadline, we'll normally like let somebody know we're not going to be able to make it, or we're not going to be able to like deliver on time, and we usually ask to push it back a little bit. That's normally how missed deadline goes with us.
Nice. What about have you misunderstood a brief at all? Like turned up to the wrong venue, or turned up and done the wrong set list, or a longer set list or something?
We've definitely turned up and had like thought we were doing a 45-minute set, and they've been asking for like a 90-minute set. That's happened a few times.
Oh man, that's the worst way around as well.
We've had two hilarious. I don't know about if it's like misunderstanding the brief, or because we do a lot of European festivals. So
yeah.
So we had this one gig where Josh couldn't be there. So I found this guy. It was in Germany, and I found this kid who he looks like so much like Josh. It's not even funny. Like he's like German Josh.
Found a doppelganger.
And so Josh had to be somewhere on that day, and he was like, "Oh, you and Joel and this guy just go and do the gig. It's a small gig outside, maybe like 100, 200 people max." And so we traveled like this guy. We didn't even have a rehearsal with this guy. So I don't think he'd ever like really performed on that kind of level. So we turn up to the venue, and it's this massive warehouse. Like we walk in, me, Joel, German Josh, and it's like huge. And there was something like 2,000 people there. It was like for this like kids graduation, German graduation thing. And like, it was mental. I was literally like, this is not good. This is going to be so bad. It ended up being all right, but it literally,
Did it become
I was
the Ryan show? And
I literally was messaging Josh like, you said it was 200 people. It's thousands.
It's 0.
Yeah, so that happened. Mate. Then almost the identical thing happened, but in reverse. Josh did a gig without me, and he took Raf, Breaker, and he thought it was just going to be a small youth club gig, and it was like 800 people.
Yeah.
And it was just Josh, and Breaker was just meant to be behind the DJ decks. So Josh was literally doing everything. He was doing his parts, my parts, running around, hyping. And the whole system was rigged in mono. So it was like this massive system all rigged in mono. And there was like video issues and all that kind of stuff. So Josh was like rereading the emails like, this guy just said it was a youth club gig. So that happens to us kind of every now and then, because I think the promoters sometimes don't know how to communicate exactly what it is. So we've had times where we've like not understood that it was bigger than they said it was.
I guess with European festivals, sometimes it gets lost in translation. You can put it down to that.
Yeah.
Other times, it's just like one of those gigs to forget, I guess.
No, it was actually probably one of the most memorable gigs, the German one with me, because somehow we got another gig 3 hours away on a train.
Yeah.
And we almost missed the train rushing from the one to the next.
Oh, man.
We just get on the train literally as the train door's closing. I had this suitcase where the wheel had fallen off, and a bit of the metal wiring, because I was dragging it, had this like, it had broken, and it was basically like a knife on the bottom of the thing poking out. We ended up getting on the train in first class. So we had to walk about 30 carts all the way down this German train. I stabbed somebody in the knee. I stabbed 2 people in the knee.
It's okay. I'm American.
Like, Schudigung, 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 Schudigung. I stabbed the guy. It was stuck in his knee. And I had to pull it out. And I had to go. I literally couldn't go back. I wanted to get food so bad, and I knew I'd have to pass this guy. So I was like, no, I can't. I had like mild PTSD from this. But we ended up making it the second gig, so it was one of the most memorable gigs, not for the right reason.
That's amazing. Oh.
Yeah.
What about your...
2 seconds later, Joel's shouting, Brexit. Oh, time for Brexit on a German train.
Well, I think there's probably worse things he could have shouted, but
Probably.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. What about your most exciting gig? Doesn't have to be the biggest.
I had like 4 or 5 that I wrote down. We did a headline gig in Finland. We rented out this venue. It was right on this kind of like right off the ocean, I think. It was in Helsinki, and we'd rented this like little venue, and like a ton of people turned up, and they were singing all the words. They knew everything. It was so sick, and that was like the first time we ever felt like, wow, this is something. Yeah. When you just, we'd not done one single schools week, and traditionally, like us from 1224, our whole thing was schools weeks, and it was like, we're trying to like not like leave that all behind, but we're trying to transition into like a 2-track thing where that's not our main focus, or we're not just a band that only gets people to our shows just because we went into the school that week. So that was like the first. That was like it's legit. Like what we're doing is legit. That was probably one of my most like proud moments. We did a gig in Slovakia in a Jewish synagogue. It was insane. I'm not even kidding. Like the kids knew every word. It was when we had Tell the Truth. We just released it free on online. Yeah, they downloaded it, all of them, learned all the words, and it was sick.
Amazing.
The other ones. Were you there at the Apollo, the first hire?
I did the very first launch.
That one, Friday night.
Yeah.
We had Christina with us as well, so it was sick.
Miss those days.
And then maybe the other one that I can think of is we did a gay pride festival in Hull, and there was
I saw that.
There was 15,000 people. We thought, maybe like there'd be like a couple hundred, because we done one in Germany before. We done Pride Hamburg, and there was like 200 people, but spread out in the city center, and it was weird. They were like guys in assless chaps, and it was like weird. It was so weird. But this one, we rocked up thinking it's gonna be 200 people, and it was
with your own assless chaps.
1,000. It was like a sea of people. It was the most amount of people I've ever seen ever.
You want
in one in front of me.
Really?
It was like it was a weird feeling.
Amazing.
So I think there's probably a few more.
That's cool, man.
We done the arena at Festival of Praise, big like Black Gospel event.
Yeah,
that's always sick. But yeah, those are probably like some of the bigger highlights, I think.
That's really cool, man.
We've done a lot of gigs.
What about a time? You go.
No, we've done a lot of gigs. We've done a lot.
Have you got a number for how many gigs you've done? Do you know
I wish, because I would write about it in a song that would immediately go into a rap. It'd be in every rap.
Sounds like tomorrow's job.
Exactly.
That's definitely tomorrow's job. What about a time where you've had to think on your feet?
Okay. Yeah, we've had two gigs where we've turned up and the whole sound system was wired wrong. Like, wait, were you with us in Coventry? Where the guy had wired his desk.
Coventry, which time? Yes, he had like 2 little analog desks.
He had a digital desk, yeah.
Yes. We rocked up at whatever time, 7, let's say, and it was already going ahead, and we were going on at like 8, and it was an absolute mess, wasn't it?
The guy had a digital desk, which you could have just plugged everything into, but then he rerouted it to 2 analog desks, or
2 cheap analog ones as well. It wasn't like a Neve or something nice.
For no reason. For no reason.
And then Like one vocals on this
Weird,
one
weird.
vocals over here.
Yeah, so we've had that happen. We've had that happen 3 times.
What is going on? Wow.
We had that happen in Coventry. We had that happen in Germany, and we had that happen in Spain. And Joel had to rewire the system in Spain, and Sam Hawking had to rewire the system in Germany. Like, we had to push the gig in Germany back an hour because of it.
Man.
So, but we just basically took charge of the event, basically.
Sure.
So that was kind of like, okay, they don't really know what they're doing. They've got Hans on sound who kind of knows what he's doing, but he doesn't really. and like, yeah. So we've had that. Events. We've had stuff like that. We've had our laptop has just shut down in the middle of the show, where it's just like crashed and like middle of a track. We're performing, laptop shuts down.
Yeah.
And one time the laptop shut down, and nobody knew what to do. We were all just like, "Oh crap," because it was going so well. Like the crowd was going mental. So, like, just I don't know where it came from. I was like, "Yo, y'all are crazy! You broke the sound system! I can't believe it! You guys! Oh my goodness! Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna go off the stage. You're gonna keep that energy, and when everything's working, we're coming back on." And then I just walked off the stage, and Josh and Tess, who was with us at the time, they were like, they just walked off the stage too, and we just literally waited on the side of the stage. Joel's there going crazy, trying to fix everything, trying to figure out what to do. All the promoters, all the other bands are coming up to us in the back. Yo, this was crazy. How is this planned? Did you plan this? For real? You planned this? And we were like, nah, but we're not just going to stand on stage and look like idiots while we wait for the sound to come back on. And literally anytime it ever happens, that's what we do now. I literally say, all right, we're going off stage. We're going to come back on. And when we come back on, you got to go crazy. And like literally, I don't know where it came from God, but it was sick. And the whole show, like after that, the whole show, the crowd was awesome. So,
you wouldn't try and do some a cappella tracks or anything? Some bars.
If one of us could play guitar, I think we would do that so much more, but I can't play guitar and rap at the same time, so it just doesn't, a cappella just doesn't really work for our stuff. Sure. We've done that once, and it worked, but I wasn't feeling it. I was like, nah, I'm uncomfortable.
What about the best artists that you've worked with?
Best artist that we worked with. There's a guy, we've just done a song, we've just released a single called Propane. And this guy called John Keith, his verse on our track is like probably one of my favorite verses that came back off of somebody where I wasn't expecting it to be that good. And it was that good. But the best artist that we've ever worked with is this guy called Ruslan. He's a guy from California, and like, bro, you should check out his channel on YouTube. It's Ruslan KD, and his content's sick. He's like an entrepreneur. Like the stuff that he was into, that he was involved in, was just insane. And like any way that he could help you, he was like always helping, like anybody. We'd literally have a conversation with somebody, and he'd be like, "Yo, I know Gary who runs that like thing. I'm gonna call Gary right there in front of you, and be like, Gary, I'm with Dan. Dan's looking for a dog. I know you run the dog shelter." He would literally do that like 10 times a day for everybody, and it was like, I've never seen anybody like that. Just giving everything away, like all the time, anything he knew. It was like, yo, I'll show you what I do. I'll tell you exactly how I do it. I'm giving you the game on this one. Yeah, I'll give you the blueprint. So he was probably like the best artist we ever done anything with.
Amazing.
He was
Sounds like
awesome.
a good dude.
check him out.
You're gonna do some, yeah, shall do. You're gonna try and do some more stuff with him in the future.
Yeah, I think so, because he's really cool. He's like a hip hop guy. Have you heard Good Music?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on that song.
Nice. Yeah.
So he's got a cool vibe, and I used to listen to him when I was younger. So like it was really cool to kind of connect with him like that and get on track. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
What about your worst food or your worst experience on the road?
Worst food. Slovakia is probably like until people started giving us like their home cooked food. Slovakia was probably my least favorite place to eat.
Yeah.
Food. We've had some pretty nasty occasions there. But to be honest, we don't because I'm vegan, most of the times the food that we get is like really nice.
Tailor-made for you.
Yeah, tailor-made for us. Somebody's like really gone through great lengths to try and cook something cool for us. So even Joel on the road has been saying, just say I'm vegan as well.
Yeah.
Because it's always better than what they normally give. The food's usually all right. It's normally like gigs that can be like really crap and you can have a bad experience. We had a gig in Czech where just before we were about to go on, the wireless mics started feeding back and having like loads of frequency issues. And it turns out that they'd not bought licenses for the mics, and they were interfering with the police and the fire department out in Czech.
Man.
And so we had to do the whole gig on wired mics. Running around the stage. And it was when we were 1224, so it was like full on EDM set.
Sure.
Just like tripping over wires.
Well,
dude, it was not good. But the worst ever experience I've ever had on a gig. We got booked for this gig like an hour away from here. I don't know what it's called, but it was an Oxjam gig. Do you know Oxjam Charity?
Yeah.
So we get booked with this Oxjam gig, and the headliner is some Britain's Got Talent kid who didn't win, but
runner up.
Yeah, he had like one of his songs like went viral, and so he was driving up from London. We're like sick. We got this like mainstream gig with this Britain's Got Talent guy. It's like a charity event. Yeah. It's in some cool bar. We turn up, and bless them, the three guys who were running it were like really not. They really didn't have it all.
Oh no.
Going on up
no
top.
Idea.
They had no idea, bro. Honestly, we turn up, we do sound check. They give me and Josh our mics. We brought Raf with us again to DJ. He gives me my mic, he gives Josh his mic, and he takes us a tour around to look at like the sound system and everything. My mic was connected to a guitar amp, a practice guitar amp.
Perfect.
Up on the top balcony. Just my mic.
That's what you want.
Josh's mic was connected to a guitar amp on the bottom floor. Just his mic.
Okay. Perfect.
The tracks were playing out of computer speakers up at the front.
Oh, mate. They obviously read your rider well.
Dude, I was like, what's happening here? And they're like, oh, we don't know. We thought this was okay. And we'd found out that this Britain's Got Talent guy had rented a van, had got a drummer, and was bringing his whole band up. So we were trying like mad to like save it for them, because they were a bit like, they weren't all there, and so we felt really bad. And we're like working out with the bar staff if we can hook up to their system. There ends up being no way. And Josh really wanted to do the gig, so he ended up calling Keith, thinking maybe we'll book a sound system for these guys, and they'll just pay us back. And about an hour into negotiations, we realize they're just saying yeah, and they didn't have any money to pay
Oh, man.
anything. So that we literally just went home. We went to Nando's and went home. That was the worst ever experience I ever had.
That's crazy.
Hilarious.
How
though.
long ago was that? Was that recently?
No,
recently.
that was you. Christina was with us as well. So one was a wired mic, one was wired and two wireless. Bro, it's
how many people were they expecting?
It's so bad. I think they were going to be like 100, maybe 200 people, 150 maybe. Because the Britain's Got Talent kid had fans.
Sure.
Yeah, like one drove from 3 hours away. Their parents drove her. They were waiting there for hours.
Mental.
It was bad. It was bad.
Did you ever find out if they came and did the gig?
Probably. He probably did an acoustic thing.
Ran off to
Like
Nando's.
he's that type of artist who could just emo guy, one guitar, do an acoustic vibe, no problem.
Yeah.
Not us though.
No, a bit different for a track band, isn't it?
We were out.
Talking of Nando's though, is that your best food? What's your favourite food to get on a road?
We do this gig in Denmark with this they're like this amazing couple called Dina and Ronnie.
Yeah.
And even before I was vegan, they made like the most amazing food, like best steak I ever had. They would make oh man, his food was so good. And then when I turned vegan, went back and they did just as good food, but vegan.
Oh, that's what you want,
dude. It was the best. So that's probably some of my favorite food. There's a gig in Sweden and Norway that happened on the same weekend.
Sure.
And usually, if you get booked for one, you take a boat over or drive over, and do the next one. And Lynn's had done it for like years, and they take this really long ferry over, and the food on the ferry, he would just go on about it and be like, oh, it's amazing, like all you can eat, the best food you ever had, beer on tap, wine on tap, like all, it's so sick. You guys are gonna love it when you take the ferry tomorrow. We end up taking the short ferry, which doesn't have an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Oh, no. Just sitting in a packet of crisps and a £3 sandwich.
It's literally like lunch, dinner. You can like buy like bog standard lunch food. It's disgusting. 2 years in a row, I think we have to take this ferry. Maybe 3. Yeah. Finally, we get booked and they put us on the long ferry.
The long ferry.
It was so good. It was so good. I'm talking like it had like caviar. I didn't eat it because I'm vegan, but that was some of the best food. There's like a McDonald's version. There's like a McDonald's type restaurant in Sweden called Max Burger. So good. Yeah. They do a vegan burger and it is insane. Every time we go, we get a Max Burger. Oh wait, is it Max Burger? Oh, maybe that's Finland. Nice. Finland's Max Burger, and Sweden, there's something just like it. They do a vegan burger and it's so good. Those two. What else I got? Oh, we had a barbecue in South Africa. Proper braai. Yeah. It was so sick. When someone else cooks you food though, that's the best.
You are a proper food lover, aren't you?
Yeah, mate. I put on so much weight already on this quarantine. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Oh, mate. You're trying to keep fit as well while you're there.
I was running like
lockdown.
I was running like 3 5Ks, 2 10Ks every week. Yeah. And then I hurt my back. I started doing extra exercise on top. And it went bad. It went wrong.
So you've slowed down, hopefully.
Yeah, I slowed down. And I was drinking beer. Like every night I was having a beer or two. Yeah. Now now I'm gone. It's off. No beer, no soda, nothing from a packet. If it's from a packet, it's got to be like actual whole food. It can't be like some processed, like crisps or like anything processed like that. So
I think it was you that was telling me that you are on the no crinkly packaging diet. Is that right? Is that what you called it?
What did I say? I said something like, if it's in a packet, it doesn't hack it, or something like that. Or like, if it's in a packet, gotta whack it, or some sort of silly, something stupid like that.
Best lyric. Yeah. Best lyric right there. Nice, man. What about Wedges or InEars? What's your preference?
I think I need custom molds to know whether InEars is like. I know I've had great experiences with InEars and actually being able to hear myself, but yeah, I think for vibe I like Wedges, like 100%. I like Wedges. We started using autotune live, and anytime we use that, if it's in the Wedges, then it's like the best thing ever. You just feel like you feel so good.
Nice, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because a few times you've done gigs with me and haven't bought InEars with you, and there's been Wedges out for you, thankfully.
Yeah.
And then I've thrown you a pair of ears, and then halfway through you just take them off.
Yeah, that's because my InEars are whack. Like they're just not good enough.
Yeah.
Like for whatever reason it is, whether they're not staying in my ear properly and the seal isn't like holding or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm whack. I'm not into that.
That's fair. I mean, custom molds are like a game changer, another big step up. Obviously, you've got the monetary value of that as well.
It's a lot. I spent all my money on this coat.
We'll get to that. What about your favourite lyric? So one of your favourite lyrics from one of your songs. So I've got a few of yours here. That are
one of our songs?
Oh. Yeah, man. Oh, sorry. Have I put you on the spot?
I thought you were saying favourite lyrics of all time.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go through a couple of your lyrics. So I've got 3.
I can tell you whether I like them or I think they're wrong.
So I've got... so from No Worries, I've got Adios, Simbaba. Thank you for Nada flying over here singing Hakuna Matata. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a nice little... right, I love
Wrote that right here.
Really?
In this room. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And then going back to the original album, The Answer. How's it go? Daddies don't leave, governments don't lie. World bows down to lift your name up high. I love that.
Yeah.
There's a little.
And that is a bar.
That as well. I love that.
Daddies don't leave, governments don't lie. Oh, sick. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one. And then what's it? It's something. It's you don't ask me for a feature, bro. We DM'd you all before.
I seen you seen that left ignored. Hit you back with the Waka Flame propane. Yeah, that's probably my favorite verse I ever wrote. And then I love that end section. I love it. Because it's just like we're always reaching out to people all the time, trying to like get features and collaborate with people. And it seems like until you do something that's noteworthy, people just feel like, nah, I'm not gonna message them back. But the second you start doing something that people think, oh, you're on a track with this person, you just did this festival, you just did this, all of a sudden they're messaging you back, and you kind of like, it's too late now. Like I'm over it. Like hit you back with the Waka Flame propane. That's a sick. I love that bar. What's
your favorite then?
Out of those 3?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, it's gotta be the for content and like true to the core, it's gotta be the Answer one. Like obviously that means the most to me. But for whiling out and like sometimes how I feel right now, it's gotta be the propane. Yeah. I love that one.
It's good. It's really good.
You picked some good ones.
You've come so far in your songwriting as well.
Yeah.
Like you've gone from essentially being a produced band where someone else would have almost all say over what you put out, to now very much in control of what you put out, even producing tracks yourselves. Have you found that?
Yeah. I think it's a lot more liberating because our music at first was like, the way we kind of described it was like alpha course music. And that's kind of like where people are all right with talking about faith, and they're all right with talking about Jesus. They're kind of open to it already. And you're kind of trying to bring them to the point where you're going to ask them to, like, hey, maybe you want to, like, become a person of faith, become a person like us. We're Christians.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to follow Jesus. And that was like the sole focus of the music. So we weren't writing songs about like our wives or how I feel about somebody ignoring me in an Instagram DM, or, you know, like it wasn't about, you know, any of that, whether I feel like I'm good at my craft or anything like that. It was all just so I could have that conversation of, hey, do you want to give faith a try? What about Jesus? Type stuff. But I think we just felt like we needed to kind of hit the guys who were not there yet, like not ready yet to have that conversation. And so I think our heart was always to like, but what about the guys who would never, ever, 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 ever step foot in a church? Like, what about the guys who would never come to our after school gig? What about the guys at the gay pride? And I think we started writing towards people like that, hoping that we could win their favor with kind of with our craft and with our skill and with our music, which it still is like 100% us, but it was maybe less like upfront, I'm trying to convert you to God, or to Jesus, really. So I think us being able to do that has felt like liberating. It's not been easy with the people who really love 1224, because some of those guys feel like we've kind of like sold out a little bit. But for me, like it's got us in places we've never been before.
Yeah, man, it's true.
And we're having like amazing conversations with people about Jesus, about our faith, and it almost seems a little bit more real. In a way, because they're not just like, it's not just a 16-year-old kid like going crazy at a concert and they think we're amazing, so they really
getting
like
caught up in the moment.
Not a lot of hype in it. It's more deeper discussions, and a lot of times it's in sessions. We'll have a session with a writer, like a mainstream writer, and we'll get onto faith and stuff like that, because we don't curse in our music. We don't. Well, I mean, some people would say that we curse in our music, but we don't. Depends on what you think cursing is. We're married, 2 kids, 3 kids. Like we're not trying to hit on anybody. We're really respectable. So I think people know that we're different. And it just naturally comes up. But I think for me, it's helped me just to be able to rap a bit more, because I kind of lost my way somewhere in the middle, where I felt like I was just using my story as a script.
How can you tell it in a different way?
Well, no, it was like because our training had been like, write your story down, and then we're gonna communicate it, and then we're gonna share our faith through it. And so I told my story about my dad leaving like 1,000 times, and all of a sudden I almost feel like I didn't live it. At one point, I felt like that's somebody else's story. It doesn't feel real to me anymore, even though it happened to me. I felt like I'm not like connected to it.
Detached from it.
So now I feel more connected to the things that I'm saying, and I think eventually I'll come back to, I want to talk about fatherlessness because I'm connected to it. I know why I'm talking about it. I want to talk about like my faith in this specific way because I'm really connected to the impact of it. And yeah, I think it's just been a journey of like growing in skill and then coming back to maybe some more traditional stuff that maybe was at the core of who we were. But yeah, I've loved it. It's not always been easy, but I've loved it. I think we've gotten better.
Good.
I don't know.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Flying. Killing
lying.
the game, mate. Yeah.
Did you say lying?
I said you're killing the game. I said, yeah, you're flying.
Okay, I thought you said 100. I thought you said 100% lying.
No. Oh, no, I'm not that cruel. Should we move on to new music then? That kind of ties in quite nicely with that. Is there anything new? Obviously, Propane came out last week before. And you've been doing this rap competition, which I think is drawing
tomorrow. Yeah.
Obviously, the beat's still out there, so if anyone does want to do a rap and send it in.
Yeah. Hashtag Propane Challenge.
Nice. Have we got
a song ready? We've got 2 songs ready.
Sure.
We've got one that's called Gold, which you've probably heard already.
It's one of my favourites. I'm just waiting for it to come out. But
we just got it back.
Yeah, that's a sad thing.
Basically, we wrote it with this guy called Josh, who's a Hillsong London worship leader. I don't know if he's doing it anymore, but he's definitely heavily involved there.
Sure.
And he's in Medusa. He's in Good Boys. So you know that Medusa Good Boys track, Piece of Your Heart. And what's the other one? There's one with Medusa, Good Boys, and Becky Hill. And we wrote it with him. And then after Good Boys had like absolute worldwide smash with Piece of Your Heart. And his management were like, we're going to try and pitch this song. We think it could be like, he got management and they wanted to pitch it. They were trying to get Macklemore on it. Yeah. Macklemore said no. So I was freaking out that he even heard it. But they tried to get him on it. It's crazy. Try to get all these other people on it. But then it just ended up a year going by and nothing.
Sat there.
Yeah, so we were just like, yo, you need to give this back to us because we want to release it. So that might come out soon. We've got another track called Fear. It might not be called Fear in the end, but at the minute it's called Fear.
Sure.
It's got a cool... Nice. I did like a story for my rap.
Okay.
So like my rap is this kind of like fictitious story.
In the beginning.
Yeah, well it's like... So like... Did you just say you're killing the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like a common phrase, killing the game. And like rappers are always saying, I'm killing the rap game. I killed the game. Yeah. So, I mean, we even said put the game in a box. Then I hit the Millie Rock like I killed the game. Yeah. So I wrote a whole rap. I'd just been listening to Eminem's recent album and was like super inspired by all the storytelling. So I wrote a rap with Eminem in mind, and it's me. Because it's frustrating. With 1224, we were doing really well. With Social Beingz, we've started back from square one, and like having to build all your numbers back up, and having to go to places where they say Social Beingz and they don't know who you are. But if you said 1224, those same people would be like, "Oh, we know them." It's like super frustrating.
Hard, yeah.
So, and then when you see other people doing better than you, you're like, but we started over again. So I wrote this rap about like kind of being frustrated, finding out where the game lives, like if it were a person.
Oh, okay.
Like finding out where the game's house is. And I go to his house and I beat him up. And then I bury him in the backyard. And like the end of the verse is like, I killed the game. Like it's like the rap about me killing the game.
Dark.
It's so sick.
I really look forward to
but
that.
But it's like to kind of say like, yeah, like you kind of have to like not be afraid of, like, there's so much to be that you fear when you're doing life or doing music, and it's kind of being like, yeah, I'm not afraid of you. Like, I just buried you in the backyard, like, and what? Like, and I'm still here. Like, you can't stop us. You can't touch us. Like, because ultimately it's not the success of the song that I'm doing it for. It's to express myself, and it's to impact other people. So, like, anytime we release a song, I feel like we killed the game in a way.
Sure.
Because we're doing what the rest of the world would of musicians would just love to be doing. Releasing music, writing music, being proud of your music.
With your best friend.
Yeah, exactly, with your best friend. So, killing the game. Bro, you're gonna love this verse. It's sick.
Oh, I'm ready.
It's sick.
When's that? So have you got any idea when that's going to come out?
No, we're just trying to figure out a strategy and a game plan, and stuff like that. Whether we get a feature on it or not, because that seems to be working really well for us, featuring with other people, and so yeah, we're not sure, but hopefully soon.
So we've come to the last question, mate, which is most elaborate stage.
Yeah, I mean, costume. I was wearing it before. I like to rock leopard print. Oh, Alright, so I think the most elaborate maybe. I bought these like checkered leggings, girls' leggings from H&M.
Well, I mean, that's not a man's coat, is it? Is it a man's coat?
It's a girl's coat, yeah. A girl gave it to me, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So I have two of these. I have one that's a bit smaller than this. And I think I used to rock these girls' leggings, which was one of the most uncomfortable things for me to try and shop in the girls' section of H&M in Denmark. Try them on, look at myself in the mirror in front of everybody, and buy these check girls' leggings. And then I would wear my my Breaking Bad Heisenberg hat.
Yeah.
And then I had the leopard print jacket, and it was just all kinds of wrong, but looked so sick on stage.
We'll throw it in now.
Oh, I wish. I tend to, the more ridiculous the outfit looks, that's what I go for. I've worn girls' clothes multiple times. Sometimes the girls' stuff is just so much better than the guys. In fact, both fur coats have been girls' fur coats. I've worn a few girls' trousers. Yeah. Loads of girls' shoes.
Yeah.
They tend to have the colorful stuff in the sections. So
yeah, I was going to say men's selection isn't all that good for stage outfits, really, is it?
Nah. Yeah, I think that must be the craziest thing I ever wore. Is the girls' leggings. You just can't turn around.
Nice, man.
You just can't turn around to the crowd. Absolute bootylicious.
Oh, lovely. Oh, smashed it, mate. So that was all the questions. So good job there. You did. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Don't do drugs.
Strong.
Go and follow Social Beingz with a Z on Instagram.
All the links are below.
Yeah, listen to our new single, Propane. If you love it, share it. Put it on your playlist. I don't know. Don't do drugs. Subscribe to this YouTube.
Hi guys, thank you for checking out this video with Ryan from Social Beingz. He's a good friend of mine, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have him on the show. If you're the first time you've come to this channel, don't forget to click that bottom right hand corner, the little DBA YouTube icon, and that subscribes you to the channel. All the links are below. Don't forget to check out the Propane Challenge, their new single. But the Propane Challenge is for you to put your own verse on it. While the entries have finished, you can obviously go do your own now, and that'd be amazing. It'd be great to see some of them. Don't forget to leave a comment below if you do it, and we'll go check it out ourselves. So yeah, thank you for checking out this video. We'll see you again in another video, guys. Bye.